Our first lot of lettuce are ready to be pricked out now and popped into individual cells. I'm just going to be using this Charles Dowding 15 cell, so they'll be quite small plugs, but you can use larger cells if you want, and then you'll just need some multi-purpose compost. We will also be sowing our March varieties as well today, so if you didn't actually get any sown in February, then it's definitely a good idea to get some in now. So I'm just using some peat-free multi-purpose compost. I'm going to remove any of the really large pieces, but otherwise it isn't sieved or anything like that. We don't need to worry about that as much now, and it will give the roots something to cling on to as well. I'm just using an old hairpin, but a pencil will work here perfectly well as well. And then we're just going to select 5 or however many you've got for your tray of the best of these seedlings, and we're going to pot these on. So we're just going to very gently dig it underneath, hold on to the plant by the leaves, not the stem. This is just to avoid any damage to it. Poke a little bit of a hole and then pop that in, and you can pop that in right until they're up to the leaves. Pop a bit more compost on the top if I need it. And then we just want to make sure that we transfer our label across as well. Being careful not to actually damage any of the roots as I bring it out. And gently pop that down in there. There we go, it's as quick as that. That's them all ready now. They're just going to be watered from the bottom, and then they're going to be left in the polytunnel, so they don't need any additional heat. With the remainder of the seedlings that you've got left, you could leave them in here and let them grow a little bit more and then just chop them off as microgreens. Or what I'm going to do with some of these is actually pop them into soil blocks to be giving away and things like that, or just pop them in the compost. These are the 2 varieties that we've got to sow now for March that in this particular grow along. So we've got the Maravilla di Verano and then the little leprechaun variety that I'm going to sow into soil blocks. If you did buy the moon red varieties, then they're pelleted seeds, or if you've got any pelleted seeds at all, you'll want to actually spray those with water after you've popped them onto the surface. That's just going to help the pellet actually break up. Pop my label in so I don't get them confused, and then at this time all I'm going to do is sow 2 seeds per cell. And then exactly the same for the Maravilla. That one's got 3 in, but that'll be okay. And we'll thin these down to 1. The good thing with soil blocks is we're not actually going to need to pinch them out and pop them on. They will just go out in this size soil block. And then just to ensure that we've got good contact, I'm just going to very gently just firm them onto the compost. Otherwise you can find that they struggle to actually put their roots downwards. There we go, that's these ones. So we've got the other ones that I pinched out into the soil blocks, and then 2 rows of the other varieties there. In the soil blocks, I'm not going to add a humidity dome or anything like that because they're quite moist. They tend to stay absolutely fine. In the summer, if I was putting this tray in the polytunnel, then I would be putting it into the bottom shelf so it got a little bit of shade and it had a bit of respite after we've potted them up or we've sown them. But at this time of the year, that's really not going to be a problem. So they're just going to sit on the shelf, and these will probably germinate a little bit slower because it will be on the cold bench, or you could take them back inside and germinate them that little bit faster like we did before. There we go, that's this tray watered as well now. I will keep an eye on this and make sure that I water them, because it's quite a small tray. Actually, you'll find that they need watering a little bit more than some larger trays, but I'll be doing that by checking on the weight of them. I will also give them a bit of a frost cloth if we do have any really cold nights, but they're reasonably hardy and the chances are that they would be fine if you forgot them. We will next have a look at these pretty much when the roots start sort of poking out the bottom. They'll be ready to plant out in a few weeks, and then we'll be looking at another succession as well very soon after that. We will look at having a look at using a seed bed for sowing, just to save a little bit of money, and it's a really good thing to utilize as well.